Some kids of rich people live very extravagant lives, but what if I told you that this isn't how it is in the case of Jennifer Gates and the other heirs of Bill and Melinda? Well, I really think I shouldn't even call them heirs because according to the famous computer tycoon, he wants his children to make their own money. I know, maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but anyway, well, stay with us to find out everything about the distribution of one of the biggest fortunes on the planet. And by the way, I'll tell you all about Jennifer's brand new fiance. Is he also as rich as his future wife? But before we start, please subscribe to Curious Sips and turn on the notifications to not miss our videos. Now let's begin. If we're talking about Bill Gates and his family, it is impossible not to mention the impressive figures when it comes to money. And yes, there's also a lot of myths and stories about what will happen with his fortune, which according to Forbes magazine is valued at $109.6 billion, making him the third richest person in the world, behind Jeff Bezos and Bernard Arnault. If your children were born in a crib of gold and with a silver spoon in their mouths, they have absolutely nothing to worry about in their lives, but most of those who think like this don't know what both Bill Gates and his wife Melinda want their children to forego their own path in life and make their own fortune, or at least that's what they say. But before we move on to that issue, do you know who are the children of the second most powerful couple on the planet? The people who make up the Gates family are a dad and a mom Gates that I've already mentioned, but there are also two girls and a boy, Jennifer, Phoebe, and Rory. And it's the oldest of them, Jennifer, who I want to talk to you about because her name made headlines everywhere. And why? Well, it turns out that recently she shared the news with the world that her boyfriend, Nael Nassar, had just popped the question and asked her to marry him. But before I tell you about the love story of Jennifer and Nael, I'll tell you a little about who she is and what the oldest of the Gates children does. Her full name is Jennifer Catherine Gates, and she was born on April 26th of 1996 in Washington, so this spring she will turn 24. How could it have been any different, you know? Jenny studied at Lakeside School in Seattle, the same school that her billionaire father went to. Later, she studied biology at Stanford University, where, by the way, she met her future husband. The oldest of the Gates children is a true animal lover. She often shares images of her and her pet, a puppy named Earl Grey. Can you imagine the extraordinary dog life that Lucky Earl leads? But the fortune valued at about $20 million allegedly generated by nobody but herself, and Jennifer's love for animals allow her to practice her great passion. A very expensive one for the majority of us regular people, by the way. I'm talking about horse riding. Actually, those who know most about the sport say that Jennifer is pretty good at it. Well, I say good, but not the best because according to our latest research, she was the 32nd on the list of the United States Equestrian Federation in the category of the horse show jumping. I know, you're probably wondering whether she has any scandals. Well, the rich kids usually have a few, but the truth is that there aren't too many in Jennifer's life. I would rather call it an interesting fact. Some time ago, someone used a photo of the American actress Rachel Leigh Cook as the result of a Google search for the name Jennifer Gates. The thing is that the actress is 17 years older than Jennifer. Because of that, several media outlets used the picture of Rachel in place of the eldest Gates daughter. Well, I've just remembered that some time ago, Jennifer's name was also circulating in the media, and it's because it turned out that her dad Bill spent the very modest amount of $1 million on the rent of a mega mansion near the Winter Equestrian Festival in Palm Beach, Florida. It was also that his daughter felt as comfortable as possible, and she focused on the competition. Well, you will tell me what's so scandalous about it. Everyone can spend their money as they wish, right? And I'll tell you, of course, they can do what they want. However, to many, it seemed that this was against what Bill and Melinda said in their speech. And it's because it's a known fact that since they got married in 1994, they both have donated large sums of their huge joint fortune to charitable causes and to their own foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Some time ago, Melinda said that it's not fair that we have so much wealth when billions of others have so little. On top of that, according to the billionaire marriage, from a very young age, their children were raised in the most humble way possible, exactly because they found it immoral that they have so much money and many others have basically nothing. In fact, Bill himself said during a TED Talk that his children won't inherit his fortune. Well, at least not all of it. According to what he said, his kids will each get a minuscule portion of about 10 million. Oh, what heartless parents you are. Obviously, I'm joking, but even if they got much less than that, they would still be set for the rest of their lives and they wouldn't have to worry about finances. Anyway, the point is that according to the Microsoft magnate himself, the only reason why his offspring won't inherit all of his fortune is because he doesn't want to raise 3 spoiled brats who don't know how to make a living for themselves. We want to strike a balance where they have the freedom to do anything, but not all of the money showered on them so they can go out and do nothing. Bill explained that during the TED Talk. And since I'm talking about the Gates' parents, it seems that they've always paid close attention to the most important details regarding the upbringing of their children. In 2007, some media outlets reported that apparently Bill had to limit the time that the then 11-year-old Jennifer spent in front of the screen. Allegedly, Jennifer was getting addicted to a video game, and that didn't seem like anything to Bill. And what's more, neither he or Melinda allowed their children to have cell phones until they were 14 years old. Do you see? Even they know that it's not a good idea for a child to spend hours stuck to an electronic device. And we're talking about people who are related to one of the biggest technology companies in the world. Actually, when we're talking about that, there is a very interesting fact. It turns out that even the elite schools located in the Silicon Valley that are filled with technology offer an education with no electronic devices. They have the old-style blackboards, pencils, notebooks, or craft materials. Well, I thought that this kind of classroom was long gone, and now they only had whiteboards, interactive boards, or screens, especially in a $25,000 a year school. But coming back to Jennifer, it seems that her parents' efforts to raise good people concerned with common welfare paid off. And just like that, Bill and Melinda, Jennifer also supports several causes. For example, in 2018, she supported and motivated thousands of her followers to participate in the Ride of Our Lives, equestrian festival against gun violence in schools. And I've already told you that Jennifer is a huge lover of animals. So in February of 2017, she joined the list of celebrities who support the Equus Foundation that is responsible for the care and protection of helpless and abused horses all over the world. And now, with all of those traits added to her unique beauty and charisma, do you think I forgot about Jennifer's boyfriend, or now fiancé? Obviously, I was gonna talk about him. Since the Valentine's Day in January of 2017, Jennifer has been in a relationship with her colleague and fellow Stanford graduate, Nael Nassar. And I say that he is her colleague because just like Jennifer, he is also an equestrian and a winner of several awards and titles. By the way, despite being born in Chicago, Nael has Egyptian ancestry and grew up in Kuwait. And no, if you have some bad thoughts, you think that Nael is with Jennifer only because of her fortune, you're wrong. This 29-year-old man was also born into a wealthy family because his parents are the owners of a successful architecture and design company. But just like Jennifer, he also got the best education and graduated from Stanford University with a degree in economics. And not only that, but besides being an athlete with many titles, Nael is also very good at languages because he speaks Arabic, French, and English quite fluently. Now, after hearing about all of this, it's clear that this couple is a case of cuteness, and recently they just got engaged. And on Friday, Jennifer shared a photo of her and her now future husband where she told the world that she changed the status of her relationship and she and Nael, who she called one of a kind, will now be family. The excited Jenny also wrote that she couldn't wait to spend the rest of her life with her fiancé. Well, she is so sure of it that she closed the caption off by saying that she would say yes 1,000,000 times over. How romantic. Well, on our part, we can only join the long list of congratulations sent to the future husband and wife and wish them the best in the new and challenging stage of their life. And coming from a happily married man, it's complicated. So tell us what you think, not about marriage, but about the way the Gates raised Jennifer and her siblings. Do you think it's a good idea that the children will inherit only $10 million each? Do you think that Jennifer and Niall will live happily ever after? Let's talk about it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with Curious Tips. And remember to leave a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Until next time.